Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 1 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 1 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter probability and statistics. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I'm on grade 1 math. Chapter we're on right now is probability and statistics. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is more, less than, equally likely. On which color is the spinner less likely to land? The spinner has two colors, yellow and green, right? The most of the portion of the spinner is yellow, a small portion is green. So that means the spinner will land on less likely to land on the color that is smaller. So it will less likely to land on green because 6 has green color has the smaller portion. So it will less likely to land on green. Let's just start with the test questions. On which color is the spinner more likely to land? So you can see the spinner has two portions, right? Green and blue. Most of the portion is green and the smaller portion is blue. So that means it will more likely to land on green because most of the portion is green. So it will more likely to land on green because the spinner has more green portion, so it will more likely to land on green. Option 2 is the correct option. On which color is the spinner more likely to land? So which is the correct option? So the spinner has yellow and blue color. So it will more likely to land on blue. The spinner has more likely to land on blue because most of the portion on the spinner is blue. On which color is the spinner more likely to land? So that is blue. Option number one is the correct option. On which color is the spinner less likely to land? That is pink or green. The spinner has more portion pink and a smaller portion green. It will more likely to land on pink, and green has the smaller portion, so it will less likely to land on green. On which color is the spinner more likely to land, which is the correct option? It will more likely to land on pink because most of the portion of the spinner is pink. Option number two is the correct option. On which color is the more in which color is the spinner more likely to land? It will more likely to land on blue because most of the spinner part of the spinner is blue. On which color is the spinner less likely to land? It will less likely to land on green. Option number one is the correct option. On which color is the spinner more likely to land? So which is the correct option? It will more likely to land on green. Option number two is the correct option. On which color is the spinner more likely to land, yellow or blue? It will more likely to land on blue. Option number 2 is the correct option. On which color is the spinner less likely to land, yellow or blue, which is the correct option? It will less likely to land on blue. Option number 1 is the correct option. On which color is the spinner more likely to land? It will more likely to land on blue. Option number 2 is the correct option. On which color is the spinner more likely to land? It will more likely to land on yellow because the most of the portion is yellow. Sorry, I selected the wrong option. That is yellow. On which color is the spinner less likely to land? It will less likely to land on blue. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is sorted probable, unlikely, and impossible. How likely is that the spinner will land on green space? Impossible, because you can see the spinner does not have any green portions. It is impossible for the spinner to land on green. The spinner has no green portion, so how it will land on green? Let's just start with the test questions. How likely is that the spinner will land on blue space? And that is impossible because the spinner has no portion that is blue, so it is impossible to land on impossible. How likely is that the spinner will land on yellow space? One, two, three, four. Four portions are green, and one, two, three, four, five, six of the portions are yellow. So it will. How likely is that the spinner will land on yellow space? It is probable because most of the portion is yellow, so it will probably land on yellow. How likely is that the spinner will land on pink space? So the spinner has one, two, three, four, five, six. Six of the portions are yellow, and one, two, three, four. Four of the portions are pink. So which is the correct option? The smaller portion is pink, the big one is. On pink space, that is unlikely because the spinner has smaller portion that is pink, so it will unlikely to land on. How likely is that the spinner will land on green space, which is the correct option? Certainly it will land on green because all the spinner is green, so certainly it will land on green. How likely is that the spinner will land on blue space? Impossible because the spinner has no portion that is blue. So how then it will land on blue? That is impossible. It is impossible for the spinner to land on blue. Got it? How likely is that the spinner will land on pink space? It will probably land on pink space because the spinner has more portion that is pink, so it will probably land on pink. How likely is that the spinner will land on green space? So which is the correct option? Impossible because the spinner has no portion that is green, so it is impossible that it will land on green. Option number 4 is the correct option. How likely is that the spinner will land on a pink space? So which is the correct option? It will certainly land on pink space. We're working on grade 1 math. We're working on the chapter probability and statistics. The lesson I'm on right now is certain, probable, unlikely, and impossible. Option number one is the correct option. Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to next lesson. That is mod and range. What is the range? Range is the difference of the greatest and the smallest number in the given data. The greatest number in the given data is 9 and the smallest number in the given data is 0. So the range is 9 minus 0. That means the range of the data is 9. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. What is the mod? Mod is the number that appears most of the time in the given data. So you have to look for the number that appears the most of the time in the given data. Which number is it? The mod is 6. 6 is the number that appears the most of the time in the given data. What is the range? Range is the difference between the smallest and the greatest number in the given data. So the greatest number in the given data is 7 and the smallest number is 1. So 7 take away 1 is 7 take away 1 is 6. Option number 1 is the correct option. Mod is 1. 1 is the number that appears the most of the time, so the correct option is 1. What is the range? The range is the difference between the greatest and the smallest number. That is 10 take away 2. The correct option is 8. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is the mod? The mod is 2. 2 is the number that appears the most of the time, so that is 2. What is the range? The range is the difference between the greatest and the smallest number. The greatest number is 10, the smallest number is 1. So 10 minus 1 is 9, the range is 9. The range is that is 10 minus 5. The correct option is 5. What is the mod, which is the correct option? The mod is 10. 10 is the number that appears the most of the time in the given data. So that is 10. What is the mod? The mod is 6. Option number 3 is the correct option. What is the range? That is 9 minus 0. The correct option is 9. Range is the difference between the greatest and the smallest number in the given data. What is the mod? The mod is 7. 7 is the number that appears the most of the time in the given data. What is the range? The range is the difference between the greatest and the smallest number. That is 9 minus 0. 9 minus 0 is 9. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is the mod? Mod is the number that appears the most of the time in the given data. So the mod is 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 2 math. The chapter we were working on is we were working on grade 1 math. The chapter we were working on is probability and statistics. The lessons we have covered today are more, less, and equally likely, certain, probable, unlikely, and impossible, mod, and range. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil. Please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write down the questions in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Any questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye.